today I'm here to bring you the last 4 books that I read in September. I'm getting ready for my October reading, and I figured I'd go ahead and get these books cleared out. So let's just get right into it. The first book that I finished recently was In a Father's Place by Christopher Tilghman. This is a short story collection that is focused on the relationship between fathers and sons. Each story showcases a different stage in the father-son relationship. In some, the child is younger and seeing his father in a new light. In some, both the father and the son are full grown. In some, the father has died and the son is reflecting back on their relationship. So it's just different stories about the bond between father and son and how that can shape the son. And this, predominantly, the stories take place in the Chesapeake Bay area of Maryland, but the stories are not connected. They're all separate stories. They just all take place in this one area. There are a couple that aren't in the area, but predominantly it's a Maryland-based book. This was okay. I wasn't super impressed by it. It seemed kind of average to me, and I didn't really connect with any of the stories, but it was perfectly serviceable. I'm glad to get it off my TBR. My mom gave me this back last year, like last summer, so I'm glad to be getting this back to my mom and getting it off my TBR. I then finished my only nonfiction book for September, and that was The Residence, Inside the Private World of the White House by Kate Andersen Brower. This is Kate Andersen Brower's discussion of what it's like behind the scenes in the family's living area of the White House. She interviewed hundreds of butlers, maids, florists, electricians, management staff, just everybody that works in the residence that works to serve the president and his family. So there's a lot of different discussions going on in this book. There's discussions about kids in the White House and what the staff does to try to make life more normal for the kids. There's discussion about race and how the sort of the boundaries of race between the president and sort of the white wing or the west wing staff, and how those people are usually predominantly white versus the resident staff is usually predominantly African American. In 2013, the first African American chief usher, Stephen Rochon, was hired, and so that was a big change in the dynamics of the residence staff. That had never happened before. There is discussion of the Obamas and how, having an African American president in the White House sort of made the resident staff feel empowered. There's also discussion of tragedy in the White House. They talk about the Kennedy assassination, the Reagan assassination, 9/11. 9/11 in particular was very impactful because they had to evacuate the White House that day because they didn't know where the last plane was going to hit, and it actually did change procedures in the White House. So this is just a bunch of different factoids, stories, information, all kinds of stuff, thrown together to give you a picture of what it's like to work for the First Family. This was really interesting, and I enjoyed it, and I'm actually working on Kate Andersen Brower's second book right now. I then finished the most adorable book, and that was Pumpkinheads by Rowell and Erin Hicks. And Rowell did the writing, and then Faith Ann Hicks did the drawing of this book. This is a graphic novel about two friends, Josiah and Deja, who both work at a pumpkin patch, and they work it the months of September and October. And the book opens on Halloween night, and it's their senior year, so it's their 4th Halloween at the pumpkin patch. And of course, next year they're going off to college, and they won't be together anymore. And so they decide to blow off work and go around a tour of the pumpkin patch. They are specifically looking for a girl that Josiah has a crush on that works at the fudge shop, and so they're going around looking for her so that Josiah can tell her how he feels about her because he's always been too intimidated. So they go around, they go through the corn maze, they eat all of the wonderful food that's available at the pumpkin patch, and they get to know each other a little bit more, and they sort of start to realize how impactful their friendship is on each other. And their relationship also changes throughout the course of the night as they sort of come to some revelations about each other. This is a really really, really cute book. I give it 5 stars. I really, really enjoyed it. I'm actually thinking about rereading it before I take it back to the library because I thought it was so adorable. It's the perfect seasonal read. I definitely recommend it if you're looking for something autumnal to read, particularly when you get closer to Halloween. I actually planned to read this like later in the month of October, but then I was like, I didn't want to hog it for the whole month of October when somebody else could enjoy it, so I decided to go ahead and read it in late September. But yeah, so let me just show you some of the art. So it's just really cute. There's a lot of orange and browns, and it's just really, really sweet. It's a perfect like mind cleanser of a book. I definitely recommend it if you're looking for something light and easy to read because it's just going to make your heart so happy. So I actually finished this book and then my next book on the same day. I finished this one in the morning before I went to work, and then at lunchtime I finished this book, which is Dirk Gently's Holistic Detective Agency by Douglas Adams. Man, I don't know what it is today. I'm having such a hard time talking. So this is a speculative fiction book, and it's also a murder mystery. So it's got a lot of stuff going on, and actually, I don't know if it did it that well. I felt like it sort of went from place to place to place, like really quickly all at the time, and there was like no breathing room in this book. So this is about a guy named Richard, and Richard works for a computer company that's basically an Apple knockoff, and his boss is a very demanding guy named Gordon Way, and Richard is dating Gordon Way's sister, Susan. So Gordon Way is murdered, and Richard is sort of has become a suspect because he was like one of the last people to talk to Gordon, and he also would inherit the company if according to Gordon's will. So there's like suspicion in that regard. So Richard decides to hire Derk Gently and his detective agency to sort of get to the bottom of Gordon's murder. So Dirk Gently is a very weird guy who believes in like paranormal and speculative stuff, and he believes that there's otherworldly elements at play in this murder, and he's determined to figure out why they murdered Gordon and how it happened. And Richard is like, no, this seems like somebody got mad at Gordon and murdered him, but Dirk is like, no, we have to like explore all these weird otherworldly possibilities. There's time travel in this book, there's aliens, there's like ancient professors. Dirk and Richard are both alumni of Cambridge University, and they actually have to go to Cambridge to solve one aspect of the puzzle that they're trying to get to the bottom of. This is just a very weird book. It's nothing like the show, so just FYI if you're thinking about picking it up because you love the show, it's nothing like that. It was okay, but honestly I wouldn't really recommend it because I just thought it was really, really weird. So that's all I've been reading lately. Currently, I am working on 2 different books. The first one, as I mentioned, was First Women, The Grace and Power of America's Modern First Lady, again by Kate Andersen Brower. This is actually really repetitive compared to The Residence, so I'm kind of disappointed. There's a lot of stories that she already told in The Residence that she's telling again in this book, but it's okay, and I'm listening to it on audio book again, and it's got the same narrator. I don't know if I mentioned it, but the narrator was Karen White, and for both books, and she's doing a really great job. I'm also still working on the collected letters of C.S. Lewis, Volume 1, and I'm going to stop mentioning this until I actually finish it, because I'm on track to finish it in mid-December, and I don't want to be holding this big book up all the time. So if you're interested in seeing my progress, I update my page count on Goodreads every Monday morning, so just check it out over there if you're interested. So that's what I finished in the later part of September and what I'm currently reading. At the time I'm filming this, it's October 2nd, and I'm looking forward to the nonfiction November announcement because I am hoping it'll come out this weekend, and then we'll know the prompts and I can start looking at my TBR to decide what I want to read. Nonfiction November is my favorite booktube event of the year, besides March Mystery Madness, of course, and I can't wait to see what the prompts are. I'm so excited. Okay, so I hope everybody else has been reading some great books and you're keeping safe and healthy, and I'll talk to you again soon. Bye!